Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. I have an awesome guest today. We've only talked very little about when we get to talk, and we have great conversation. So I really look forward to today. And my guest is Bill Hansen from. You're down in Texas, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in the DFW area. Yes, sir.
Okay, I know that area quite well. So Bill, we just met the other day, had a good conversation. Like I said the other that day, if I can talk. Just a little bit of background about yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I am a 22-year military veteran. Served in the United States Marine Corps for 10 years. Uh, had a break in service when President Clinton said, "Hey, you guys want to take a break? We're cutting back the military." I was like, "Hey, I had already served overseas. I had done a couple of Middle East deployments. I'd fought in combat. I'd done my job for king and country. What? I'm going to go into do my normal job, which is being a school teacher and a coach."
Okay.
And then from there, I was that for a while, and um, then 9/11 hit,
Wow.
and I decided, I got mad, like a lot of people did, and I uh, talked to my wife. I walked into the recruiting's office for the Marine Corps, and I was like, "Hey, Sergeant Hansen here, reporting for duty. Like to sign back up." And the guy took a look at me, took a look at my service record. We had a great conversation. He goes, "All right, big guy. Uh, I'm gonna hit you right between the eyes because you seem like a guy who, that'd be better.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking for 18, 19-year-old young bucks.
Okay.
We are not looking to retread 35-year-old guys. You have great service, but here's the deal: you were an 0351. We're phasing 0351s out, and so all the weapons that you trained on, the SMAW, the Dragon, all these
Mm-hmm.
wire guided missiles, they're obsolete.
Okay.
We use javelins now, and javelins are basically shoulder mounted rockets.
Wow.
And we don't even use M16s anymore. We use M4s. So I'd have to retrain you on and have you unlearn everything you already know to bring you in. We'd much rather bring in young bucks
Mm-hmm.
who we only have to teach the first pack. And so he slapped me on the back. Here's a Marine Corps sticker, Semper Fi.
Right.
Hopefully, thanks for coming on in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Kind of thing.
Right.
As I was walking out, the National Guard recruiter had been listening in on our conversation. And he's like, "Hey, big guy, why don't you come on over here and join the dark side? You know, and with your experience, you wouldn't have to go through Army boot camp. We could sign you back on. You'd be we bring you in, comparable rank, and bring you right in. Have to do a little train up, and then away we could go."
Cool.
So I eventually, joined the California National Guard. And my first job, I mean, I was there for about 2 months with the drill, getting used to it, getting my uniforms, getting everything right and set. And next thing I know, they shipped me off to Sacramento Airport because that was right after 9/11. And they had
Gotcha.
soldiers who were patrolling the airport, if you remember.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But here's the funny thing: none of us had bullets in our
Oh, really?
weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean, this is something we can talk 20 years later about, but I mean,
Yeah.
the only like the officers and like master sergeants and
Okay.
people like that actually had bullets in their weapons. Some people had like maybe one or two,
Wow.
but I mean, the majority of people had the magazine slammed in there, and
But nothing.
the thing that we could do is, "Hey, bad guy, quit doing that." Um, uh, I ended up doing 3 tours when I was in the National Guard.
Wow.
I did a tour in '04
Okay.
in Iraq, which we did basically convoy security. Came back, did a tour in Egypt,
Okay.
where it was doing the peacekeeper mission, and that was right before they had the Muslim Brotherhood
Ah.
takeover of Egypt and everything along that line. So, but I mean, we were beginning to see things happen. We
Mm-hmm.
were in the last part of our tour. We were watching for bad things to go off, and then came home and I signed up for one last tour. And to be honest, it was right when we were having that housing crisis
Okay.
in '08.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had done something, as you regret, you look at things because I should have known better, but I made a mistake and listened to the lender instead of listening to my gut.
Okay.
And I bought my house off of one of those bad loans
Oh. Wow.
instead of buying the house off the VA loan.
Okay.
And if I'd have bought the house off the VA loan, I'd have been settled, I'd been everything.
Sure.
But I was looking at the cheaper price and not realizing the balloon payments and everything
Oh,
else along the way.
yeah.
And so here we were, we were stuck, and I was having a hard time making ends meet.
Okay.
And that was when President Bush and Congress doubled the housing allowance for people who were being deployed
Okay.
over to Iraq. That was a incentive. So we went from getting about $1,000 to getting about $2,000 a
Okay.
month with our housing allowance.
Okay.
And that was enough to make the house payments.
Perfect.
And so I was like, okay, I'll sign up for one more tour. And so signed up for the last tour, and that was the tour in Iraq.
Okay.
In January in 2009, I was involved in it's an accident, but
Okay.
there was a lot of moving parts to it. So basically, we were doing a 72-hour turn and burn. And what our job was is that we did convoy security for all the different elements that were in Iraq. And so if someone was moving food, if they were moving
Yep.
clothing, if they were moving parts,
Okay.
whatever was being moved from point A to point B because of the insurgency, it didn't matter. There was commercial, there was KBR, there was military.
Mm.
We were providing security for all those different convoys.
Wow.
And so we had to go down to forgive me for I had a couple of TBIs, so occasionally it takes me a while to remember the right place, right term, and everything
No
along
worries.
that line. So we were going to Baghdad,
Okay.
and then from Baghdad, then we were going to another spot, and then from that spot we were driving all the way home. Now, when you're on a 72-hour turn and burn, and we were doing these about once or twice, you know, twice every 10 days.
Okay.
We would be doing these. So we were on a pretty fast clip.
Yeah.
Um, so when you would do that, whenever you got to Baghdad, you would go into the it's not like we had a chance to tour the city or anything along that line.
Yeah.
We would go into the base area. We would get food
Okay.
because you're hungry because it was a 8-hour drive
Oh, yeah.
from
Definitely.
Tikrit to Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going, 80, 90 miles an hour down the highway. We are going at night because there's a less chance of being shot at. There's a less chance
I can see
of
that.
any IEDs.
Yeah.
And you're going at a certain pace because the lead vehicle is got a mind the catcher.
Okay. Okay.
So that one only went about 40 miles an hour. So we're going at 40 miles an hour for
Wow.
about 8 hours.
Not very fast.
And so, yeah. And so here we are, we're going down the road. And so you were there, you'd get some food, you'd get something to drink that was water, because
Okay.
usually all that you had to drink was Rippets
Okay.
on yeah.
What is that exactly?
Uh, well, Rippets are like energy drinks.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They're little tiny ones that if any of your military guys who went to Iraq or went to Kuwait or anything like that, tell them the word Rippet, they're like, yes, because we just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Coca-Cola gave them free to the servicemen.
Okay.
And so it's basically a monster with less carbonation.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so I drink you're drinking all that, so you want to get water in
Oh,
you.
yeah. I bet.
And so you don't get dehydrated. And then you try and take a cat nap because now you're going to go to the next base, which is another 6 hours away. Then
Wow.
you're going to take another cat nap down there and eat again. and
Uh-huh.
then you're going to drive 10 hours back
Okay.
to the home to Crete.
Right.
So we're going to all these different places. We're picking up the trucks. We're doing what we got to do, and on the way back, you're dead. You're exhausted.
Oh, I bet I could see that.
And so we were driving, and during this time, what you do is the guy you don't have that guy drive 10 hours.
No,
So
I
you switch positions. So I was the truck commander. So sometimes I would drive, and then the guy who's the gunner, sometimes he would come down, the driver would get behind the gun, and
okay.
you'd kind of rotate all around.
Okay.
Well, I was in the truck commander spot, and the guy who had been driving, you know, when we're about 15 to 20 minutes from the base,
Okay.
there was an explosion that happened right next to our vehicle.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't on the road, it didn't hit us, it didn't do anything, but it was an explosion that happened right near our vehicle.
Wow.
Now, it could have been friendly fire where guys were practicing rounds and it just happened to come off. What could have been, it could have been an IED, it could have been all kinds of different things.
Sure.
I didn't care about that. All I cared about is all of a sudden I'm half asleep,
Huh. Yeah.
listening to music,
You're awake.
listening to the radio, and now all of a sudden, ba-boom, and
Yeah.
the driver did what any other person would do in that situation. You turn the wheel away from the explosion, correct?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going about 60 miles an hour. He turns the wheel,
Uh-oh.
and we crashed into a brick wall
Oh, what?
at 60 miles an hour.
Not good.
So when that happened, I put my face went into the backside of the bulletproof glass,
Oh,
and then I snapped back and I hit the back of my head
okay.
on the metal and on the steel.
Sure. Okay.
And what ended up happening is I injured myself, but I had such a thick neck
Okay.
because I had been powerlifting that
Mm,
entire year,
okay.
and I had about a 23-inch neck. And at that time, I had about a 400-pound bench press.
Wow.
I had a 500-pound deadlift. So
Okay.
my traps were big, my neck was big, and the doctors later on said that saved my life.
Very good. Okay.
And so I was like, "Oh, wow, ooh." I was kinda out of it and on automatic motion for about the next, 30, 36 hours.
I can understand that.
That I was, my roommate says, for the he had to tell everybody that he's, babysitting a 300-pound gorilla with a concussion.
Oh, wow.
They I didn't get any X-rays. I didn't because I was functioning. I was moving.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was, but I was
Wow.
not in my right mind. I was on automatic pilot.
Yeah, I could see
About
that too.
when I finally went to sleep, passed out. When I woke up with the worst headache I've ever had in my entire life,
Oh, really? Okay. Wow.
and everything hurt from my neck on down,
I can see that.
and didn't really know what to do. I went and saw the
Mhm.
doc, and I was like, "Man, I got this huge headache." Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, I want you to understand something. I wasn't the only one doing this. And nearly every single guy who was a little bit older, people got hurt, in a deployment all the time.
Okay.
So we would go to the doc, and the doc had um, uh, pain pills,
Oh,
and he
sure.
had
Okay.
different levels, all the way from 200 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen. He
Okay.
had stuff that had codeine in it. He had all the
Okay.
good stuff, that
Okay.
people, you know,
Right.
you know, uh, uh, everything from Vicodin, you name it, we could get it from
That's
Doc.
good.
I didn't really use that much of the Vicodin, but I did get the 1,000 milligram ibuprofen because we got the warning call that, hey, in 10 hours we're gonna have to set up because we're gonna go do another mission.
Wow.
So here I am. I'm kind of hurt. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let my guys down. I'm not gonna put someone else in the thing. I'm gonna kind of power through it. And I ended up doing 20 more missions like that until
Wow.
we got So we left the country and went to Fort Hood. Now,
Okay.
when we went to Fort Hood, uh, I finally got an X-ray. I said, "Listen, I'm not signing off on anything until I get an X-ray and an MRI because
Sure.
something
Makes
is
sense.
messed up with
Mm-hmm.
my back. Something is messed up with my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Something is messed up with my head." And so finally, they gave me, I got called all kinds of names. I got yelled at. I got all the, and because what they're trying to do at Fort Hood is, and we're not getting me, I'm not yelling or saying anything bad about them, but their job was to push reservists and National Guards through
Sure.
so that the Army doesn't keep having to pay them. So if it comes out of the National Guard budget to pay them.
I see.
There's budgetary things
Yep. Yep.
and so soldier care was not they were saying, yeah, we're going to be taking care of you, but the taking care of people is going to be from the VA or from the California
Absolutely.
Guard.
That makes sense. Okay.
And so I was of the opinion, and I think that it proved later on in my career was that if they don't fix me first, it's never going to get fixed.
Okay.
And so what happened was they finally did the X-ray,
Okay.
and they found my C2, C3, C4 had fractures in it.
Oh my
So I,
word!
I so I basically did the missions with a broken neck.
I can't have. Oh my word!
Okay.
You.
Then I had my L1, L2 had herniated discs in between there. And then I had torn my internal oblique muscle on my right side. And
Wow.
then when they finally did the MRI, they're like, "Oh, you've got a type 3 concussion, or you had a type 3 concussion." Because
Mm,
what happened was after that, I got hit in the head. We were doing combatives training. I got hit in the
sure.
head. We
Right.
were
Right.
doing other things. I got hit in that. And so I would get concussion upon concussion. I'd get knocked woozy. I get knocked woozy. And so they basically said, one of the doctors from the later on, about 2, 3 years later, he said from the VA, he had been a NFL. He had been in the NFL, and he said, if we had seen this right after you'd been hit,
Uh huh.
you would have been in a concussion protocol, and you'd have been sat down for 2 months.
Wow.
And so I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
okay."
Yeah.
So, but I mean, when they saw this and they saw all this stuff, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not signing anything. I'm not going to anybody else." So they sent me to Fort Lewis,
Okay.
and I did some healing time at Fort Lewis, and then from there came down to my house in Sacramento, and from to make fun things worse,
Okay.
uh, while I was on deployment, my wife's cancer came back.
Oh my word! Wow.
And so before I had left, that's the reason why I actually went on deployment again, was because
That's
she
her.
hadn't been able to work for a while so now I had to make all the money.
Right.
And I was working as a history teacher.
Okay.
And so, even in California, that's not a lot of money.
No, I bet not.
Uh, and so, and I was coaching and refereeing and doing everything I can to bring in extra cash.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Uh, but I mean, she couldn't work anymore because of having cancer.
Mm,
And then she had one of her arms was amputated. And then she lost the breast. And then, I mean, little by little, her body started deteriorating. So I'm coming home dealing with my issues,
right.
and my wife's getting sicker from cancer. So it was a conglomeration
Huh.
of a fun time.
Oh
And
yeah.
I said, okay, well, I'm going to do what the docs tell me to do. And the docs started giving me these different painkillers, and some of it was, Vicodin and things like that. Like, so, okay, I guess I'll have to take this now because
Yeah.
that's how I can deal with the pain.
Right. Right.
And, but it was putting me into a different position in life.
Good.
Uh, Best way I could describe it is I would go into, who's the big Bill Engvall says, "Hey, I go into Vicodin land," where I'm,
Yeah.
ooh, um, basically that's what I kind of did is that I would sit on my couch. I stopped being helpful. I stopped being a fun guy.
I can.
And I went on the couch and started watching all these different TV shows. Military's still paying me, so we're taking care of our bills and stuff like that. Uh, because they hadn't totally signed me out of the Wounded Warrior Regiment,
Okay.
but I was just doing everything from home. And here's and there we have to take my wife down to UCLA to get these special treatments and to
Mm-hmm.
deal with everything. And so I'm taking all this pain pills. There's a lot of stress because of the stress. Now I've got high anxiety, so
Can
the
there's
VA is giving they're giving me more medicine to try and deal with that. And
wow.
because I'm dealing with that, I'm eating all this crappy food.
Hmm.
Now I'm gaining weight, so now my blood pressure's up.
Yeah.
So then they're giving me blood pressure medication,
Mm.
and no one ever thought to think, oh, what happens if I take this pill for blood pressure, this pill for anxiety, this pill for blood
I,
pressure, and
oh,
then this pain pill? How does that interact with each other? How is that going to work on my mental state? How is that going to work
oh my
on
lord.
on? And this happened to a lot of veterans, and I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that people meant well. That the VA meant well. They weren't trying to harm people,
Right. Right.
but they were trying to help. But they didn't think to, oh, let's see what happens when we merge
Yeah.
these uh pain medications with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about this to say to talk down on them, because these are some of the most hardworking people
Mhm.
that are out there.
Okay.
And what I'm just simply saying is, at that time in 2010, 2011, that wasn't a topic that anyone thought about.
I could see then. Yeah.
And now that people have been like, oh, maybe we should have, now it's common knowledge that they don't do that.
Yeah.
But there had to come a time when they had to think about it. And I
Yep.
was in that point of time
You-
where they hadn't thought about that yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I'm gaining weight. And for about a year I'm doing all this. Plus I'm trying to take care of her. Plus I've got other daughters. We're dealing with everything along that line. Um,
Mm.
and one night I snapped,
I
and
can. Well.
I snapped at my
Hmm.
daughter Amanda, who she did. It was something extremely stupid. I to this day don't really know, but I yelled at her. And when you got a 6'2", 300-pound man who is a former Marine, has been just came back from combat,
Yep.
you haven't seen him for a year. He's been kind of edgy for a while, and he just starts screaming at you. You
Yeah.
know what is going to be your normal reaction? If you're a kid, you're going to
Yeah.
either run away, you're going to start crying, you're
Right.
going to lock up. Well, she did something totally opposite.
Okay.
She just kind of looked at me with her big brown eyes,
Hmm.
and she walked up, and she put her hand out, and she touched my face.
Okay.
And she goes, Dad, what's the matter? You haven't been you since you've been home.
Hmm.
Broke my heart. Every time I think about it, I start crying.
I can
And
understand.
I go, oh my God, she's right.
Hmm.
She's right. So at that moment, I vowed I'm going to do everything in my strength
Hmm.
and in God's strength
Yep.
to be dad and daddy to her again.
Yes.
So that night I called my father. Now my dad I think we had a little bit of conversation about my dad last time,
Hmm.
but my dad ran one of the largest orphanages in Mexico.
Okay.
In the
Yes.
past 20 years, he's had over 7,000 kids who have gone
Wow.
through his orphanage. He is an extremely wise, he is extremely humble, he is extremely intelligent, he is
Okay.
extremely spiritual man who doesn't immediately send out an opinion. He actually thinks about it and then gives you good advice.
Excellent.
And so he just listened to me. And then he goes, okay, I know you. I've known you since you were a baby.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know you backwards and forward. I think I know you even better than you know yourself sometimes.
Right.
You have not been you since you stopped moving. You stopped being productive. You stopped being functional.
Right.
You've just been stuck on that couch. You've just been, since you've gotten home, you, I could tell the difference in our phone calls. I could tell
Mhm.
the anger is in your voice. I could hear it. And you need to be functional again. You need to get off that couch any way you possibly can.
Yes.
And so the next morning I get on Google
Okay.
and I start typing in, you know, injured veteran needs help.
Mhm.
And it brought up, now if you do that, you're gonna get about 40 different
I bet.
organizations and groups along that line. Back then, there's only about 6 or 7
Okay.
organizations that you brought up, and a couple of them were pretty hanky
Yep.
back then. Uh, so I start looking on their websites. Okay, this is where you call. Call this group. Left a voicemail. Boom. Okay. Call this next group. Left a voicemail. Boom. Call the VA. Boom. Got a voicemail.
Right.
Went all the way down the list, all 7.
Okay.
And I sat there. And from there, I just was like, okay. In my mind, I'm going, okay, God, now what?
Yeah.
None of them were there. And I don't normally call different groups out, but I will call this group out. Wounded Warrior Project called me 17 minutes later.
Oh, wow. Quite quickly then. Okay.
So that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
And the guy starts talk, and the person who was there is on the phone with me and goes, "Listen, we." He goes, "I'm in town." He goes, "I normally am driving up and down California, but I'm actually in your town. Why don't we meet for lunch?"
Wow.
And so we went and grabbed lunch, and he just listened to me for about 2 hours, just
Okay.
where I was. And he just and kept his mouth shut. And he goes, "Listen, I think your dad's right. I think you need to move. You were a wrestler. You did all these sort of different things. You were a
Right.
Marine.
Right.
You played football. You played basketball. You did all these different things. You need to move.
Mhm.
We are doing this thing called a soldier ride, which is a bike ride
Okay.
down in Arizona. Are you free next week?" I go, "Yeah, I'm free." I hadn't gone back to the school district to try and work. You know, I
Right.
hadn't started any of that stuff yet. And so, yeah, I'm free. So, okay, well, we'll pay for you. And they paid for the entire trip
Excellent.
to go down to Arizona,
Okay.
Phoenix, and you're going to meet up with a bunch of other guys and you're going to go do a bike ride. And I'm like, oh, cool, a bike ride. How
Mhm.
hard can it be to be on a bike?
Right. Right.
I've not been on a bike in 20 years. I'm 300 pounds
It
now. I've got totally different legs, but hey, not
right.
going to be a problem.
Yep.
My adductor muscles are not going to feel this in the morning. My ass is sorry, I shouldn't say ass.
That's
My
fine.
butt, uh, my glutes are not going to necessarily feel this the next day. But hey, that's true. Okay, good. So we get down there and I meet up and we're going and we're doing these bikes. The first day is we're doing a 10-mile bike, and I come off. I'm just like, okay, I haven't done this in a while. And then the next day we're doing 17 miles, and I'm in there talking to all these different guys, and I'm realizing, hey, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who's been going through this stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody else here is going through this.
Mhm.
And they're saying the same thing to me. They're saying, wow, we're not the only ones.
Right.
And so we did the last day was a 20-mile. It was a finisher,
Wow.
and so we did 10 miles, we did 17 miles, we did 20 miles.
Wow.
And the idea was that we are getting our bodies back in shape. And when I
Sure.
got back from that, and while I was there, I was like, "Oh man, this is great. I wonder what else can we do." And
Yeah.
one guy goes, "Excuse me for a second." Got a little dry throat. He goes, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Tough Mudder?"
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "What's that?" "Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
it's like a 10-mile race where you're going over about 20 obstacles in Lake Tahoe." And
Yep.
I'm like, "That sounds crazy. Sign me up."
Uh-huh.
Sign me up, I'm in. And they had a Wounded Warrior Project group that was doing it,
Okay.
and I literally had 10 days to do anything, and I had no idea. I just started reading up about it, and I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, okay, what can I get?" Gotta remember, I had been a coach. I
Uh-huh.
had done strength training. I had worked with
Yeah.
college athletes. I had worked with I had done all this sort of stuff in my past, so I knew how hard I actually had to work. So literally all I did was I got on the elliptical. I would do elliptical, then I'd do ropes, and I did a bunch of dumbbell work
Okay.
for like 9 days
Wow.
just to see if I can get myself in a little bit of shape.
Sure.
Because I know I wasn't going to get in great shape. I was just wanting to get myself in a little bit of shape.
Yep.
I get there. Now, the people who are in shape, boom, they take off. It takes them about 2.5 hours to get through all of this stuff.
Okay.
For me, what it became was are you going to quit
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah.
Are you going to fall back into that guy who's going to be stuck in his couch? He's not going to be a good person for his wife. He's not being a good person for his kids. He's not going to be a good person.
Yep.
Or are you going to rise up and you're going to be the man you used to be?
Yes.
And I this is going to sound silly, but the night before that I did this,
Mm-hmm.
I had watched with two of my daughters
Okay.
the movie The Lion King.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so there is a line in there where Simba is lost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the monkey comes by, smacks him up in the head, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, look deeper, look into the pool. I know where your father's at.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, Mufasa has a ghost vision where he basically says, remember who you are.
Yes.
You are the king. You are the next heir to the throne. This
Yep.
is who you are. This is who you were raised to be. And in my mind, I'm going, I I'm the guy who's the state heavyweight wrestling champion. I was raised by a father who worked hard, who taught me hard work, taught me how to be a good person. I was the person who um was a Marine, who climbed Mount Mother, who
Mm.
did all these different things. You know, I served in Iraq. I've already served in Iraq once. I've already served in Iraq twice. I served in Desert Storm. I served in Somalia. I served in all these different places, and you didn't quit any of those times. You're not going to quit now.
Right.
It ended up taking me. I was in such bad shape. It ended up taking me about 5.5, 6 hours to finish,
But you did.
but I finished,
Yes.
and that empowered me to go, okay, what can I do now?
Yeah. What's next? Yep.
And now I can I found the CrossFit gym. The guy there had been a former Army guy, and he was, if you were a OIF OEF veteran, you bring in your DD-214, you bring your ID, whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
was giving you, okay, your first year it's only $10 a month,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but you had to pay for it up front. So it's $120 for the year,
That's good.
which is a pretty good deal
Yep. That is.
at a CrossFit gym. So I paid for the whole year, and I started working out and started doing these things. And the next thing my dad says, remember when you were coaching and you were helping people? He goes, you need to start helping others, because
Oh,
that's going to get you, that motion is going to be lotion, and you're going to be able to help apply it to other people.
yes.
And they need to be doing the same thing that you're doing, because it's changing your mental state. It's changing your
True.
active state.
Yep.
And so then I started. I talked to the coach, and I go, "Hey, is it okay if we do a veterans class or a first responders class or something like that?" Line.
Uh-huh.
He goes, "Yeah, I have an open slot on Wednesday night, but you got to be, before you can get here and get underneath my insurance, you got to go get your level 1 certification for CrossFit. Yeah, and because what the stuff you're going to be doing, you need to go get a rehabilitative certification too." And so I did that. I got my level 1
Okay.
CrossFit, started coaching a couple of classes, then I worked for about 5 months. You got my rehabilitative certification, so
Okay.
I can now rehabilitate injuries. And so used part of my GI Bill to get both of those things.
Okay.
And then I started teaching this class and helping, and we would advertise it. And one week, Wounded Warrior Project would sponsor the class. The next week, Team Semper Fi would sponsor the class. The
Okay.
next week, Team Red, White, and Blue would sponsor the class. Now, anybody can come to this class. You
Okay.
didn't have to be a veteran, but this was mostly for veterans.
Okay.
And the idea was, what we would do is after the class, when you had different groups sponsoring the class, they would bring the refreshments after the class.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of times it was like, one guy, the guy from Wounded Warrior Project, he was known for going to Subway and bringing those really big foot long, not
Yeah.
necessarily foot long,
Right.
but the really really big
Yeah.
Subway sandwiches. That he'd bring, Gatorade. The person from Team Semper Fi, he would go to Billy Bob's or whatever, the different type of sub sandwich.
Okay.
They basically did the same thing, but one group always brought tacos because they would say, "Oh, it's after Taco Tuesday," whatever.
Yep.
But I mean, the idea was that there'd be food, there'd be something to drink afterwards, and sometimes we would have someone talk to the group. We'd have some of these guys from there was like Vet First and other groups. They would come in and they talk. Okay, hey, I know you guys are looking to some of you guys are looking to buy a house. Here's a good way to, with everything that just happened with the housing crisis, we want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah.
Here, let's get you through with the VA, etc. Then we had other people from different church groups
Hmm.
who had small groups for just veterans. One of their leaders would come in and talk to them, or we just simply sit down and shoot the crap.
Okay.
And but here's the fun thing: like veterans, guy veterans especially, right? I don't know if you've ever seen these, where people have therapy sessions or counseling sessions or group talks. They all sit down in a chair and someone has to open up,
Right.
and
Yes.
start
Yes.
talking.
Right.
We're not going to do that.
No, I can see that too.
That's just not going to happen. But we're bench pressing, and a guy gets those endorphins flying, and he goes, "Hey, oh man, I got in this fight with the old lady last night, blah blah blah," and that's when they start talking. Was when
True.
the endorphin.
Right.
And my job was to listen.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to impart wisdom at that time, but by them opening up, I've been able to show them some success in their fitness level and some competence in the fitness level by moving them without injuring them.
Okay. Yes.
And so they're going, okay, well, I took a bullet in the leg. Okay, where? Right here. Okay, so does this work? Does that work? No, that doesn't work. So okay, so we're going to work on this part of the body, this part of the body to compensate until this muscle regrows. So we're going to do this, this, and this to fix it.
Hmm.
And by the fact that I knew these things, and then there'd be times where, you know what? I really don't know exactly what's going to work.
Mm.
Let's try this.
Right.
If you're willing, let's try this. And if it doesn't work, and if it doesn't
Yep.
help you, okay, we're going to X that off of your program. We're going to move it into something else.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I have a Rolodex of different exercises
Hmm.
that we can
Yes.
go to. And the
Yes.
fact I just simply said Rolodex instead of a Palm Pilot or something else actually tells you about how old I am.
Yep. I'm right with you.
And so that was my idea. Is like, okay, let's get people, and then the more that they trust you with their physical, then you can actually say, well, spiritually, this
Yeah.
is something that you need to think about.
Yes.
You are all 18 years old. There's in one of my speeches I talk about, I kind of get an idea about how many people. There's 75 people that are in here. You know what that means? That there's 75 ways to approach your body.
Very true.
There's 75 ways to deal with your nutrition. There's 75 ways you need to do X, you need to do Y, you need to do Z.
Yep.
Because I have certain experiences where
Mhm.
I'm gonna swerve away from that. It might be the best thing for me, but I'm gonna still swerve away from that because my emotional, my physical, my mental is not gonna be able to handle that. whereas you don't have those barriers and
Hmm.
you can actually do it that way.
Right.
So let's try and figure out what is the best way for you.
Yes.
And that way you are coming along this journey and I'm just guiding you the best I know how. I'm not doing the thinking for you. I'm just giving you options.
Yeah.
Because a lot too often people they say, well, my counselor said I need to do this, my that person said I need to do that. And actually it needs to be an internal decision.
Hmm.
I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but when you make a decision, you have options and you go, okay, you know what, this is gonna be the best thing for me.
Right.
When you make the decision.
Yes.
And
It-
then you got someone who says, okay, let's do this. And I'm gonna stand behind you. I'm gonna push you when you need it, or I'm gonna help you. But you've made the decision. I
yes.
don't have to push you as hard
Very true. Yes.
because you're gonna be the one that's gonna say, you know what?
I was in.
I'm gonna be doing a bike ride where I'm gonna be doing 100 miles. So I need to stop eating the chocolate chip cookies
Right.
for a while. I need to put a little bit more protein in my diet. I need a little bit put
Mhm.
some different carbs in my diet. I need to
Right.
have different fats in my diet.
Mhm.
I don't need to be drinking beer past a certain time.
Right.
Whatever it is that's
Right.
in
Right.
your life,
Yep.
because you're gonna self-regulate yourself because this is a goal that you want.
Exactly. Very important. Yes.
And that was the biggest lesson my father taught me in life. You see, two good lessons. He
Hmm.
taught me a lot. Don't get me wrong, but the two that I use in a lot of my
Mhm.
conversations with
Yeah.
people is number one, God's gonna open doors
Oh yeah.
in your life. Your job is to trust Him
Amen.
and take that walk forward.
Yes.
That He is going to provide either the opportunities, the knowledge. You don't have to prepare all your life to before you step through the door. You just step through the door, and people might come but beside you that has the money. People that might come beside you that have different knowledge that they can help you with. But by you having that faith to step through that door, that's going to open up even more.
You will.
And then the second thing, and I just you're getting my TBI, start talking about one thing and forget the other, is you have to do it. You have to do things to help other people
Amen. You really do. Yes.
because if you're doing everything to, hey, I want to be X, Y, and Z. I want to be the man. I want to be that.
Yeah.
That was Lucifer's first sin.
Yep.
Was he who said, hey, I want to ascend up as into the Most High. I want to do this, and that's when it's I instead of us
Hmm.
or doing it to help other people, then we have that's when the problems come into your life.
Very much. Yeah.
Uh, we mentioned this in our last conversation. Another lesson that I learned was that too often we forget the roles or we reverse where our stress or where our emotions or where our effort is supposed to be going.
I agree.
Right now, uh, my belief is Jerusalem, Judea, then the othermost parts of the world. My Jerusalem is my family.
Okay.
Okay, my Jerusalem is my family, and that is brothers, sisters, fathers,
Yeah.
grandfathers. That is my children,
Yes.
my wife, all that. That is my Jerusalem.
Hmm.
My Judea is my community. Now that
Yeah.
could mean the veteran community that I am involved with. That could mean the church community that I am involved with.
Okay.
That could mean the local community where my kid plays soccer with that I'm involved with. That could mean the people in my church.
True. Yes.
And I truly believe that God has a plan where He weaves
Yes.
in and out, not just our physical family, but our spiritual family, but our emotionally family, our veteran family, our work family. And that's part of what our journey is about, is to have all these things interwoven.
Yep.
And when we don't interweave things along that line and we don't allow that to happen, then we start focusing on the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Now, I one of my best friends and I are diametrically opposite
Okay.
politically.
Okay.
We're diametrically opposite politically. I'm not going to say if he's the guy who loves Trump or hates Trump. I'm not going to say if I'm a guy who loves Trump or hates
Right.
Trump.
Right.
But here's the deal.
Yep.
I don't make enough money to be in that upper world political level.
I hear you.
Nothing that I say, all I can do is vote.
Yep.
And then whoever I vote for is I can write them a letter, send them a text, whatever, saying, "Hey, I don't like it that you do this. You're one of your constituents. You need to be doing things for us." But that's about as far as I could go.
Exactly. Yes.
When I put all my effort or my stress or to yelling at the world, "I can't believe that we're doing this. I can't believe that
Yeah.
we're doing
Yeah.
that." We are ignoring that energy should be used for our family. That energy should be used for our community.
Yep.
97% of our energy should be in those two parts.
I definitely agree.
And 3%, you could post on X about, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
Yep.
but that should be about it,
I
honestly.
agree. Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, the more that we work on those two functions,
Yep.
the better everything else is going to be.
Yes.
Because you can make it through tough times.
You can.
You can make it through when you don't have money. I mean, I remember being a Lance Corporal married and trying to survive off of a Lance Corporal salary.
Okay.
And that was $900 a month.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yes, they fed us meals. Yes,
But
they
still,
had a,
yeah.
but still, imagine having a child and a wife with on a $900 a month salary.
Difficult. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, but that was back in the 80s. That was back then. You
Hmm.
know, you can survive. You can do things. You can grow together.
Right.
And the more that community and I know we've talked about this in our last conversation, but
Hmm.
the more that you become involved in your community and you share and you reach out and you know what?
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times my father, someone in his on his team, someone in the school, some people in our life, in our church, in whatever, what was having some issues. He said, "Come over, let's have a meal. Let's talk through it."
Yep. Yep.
And he was very good at, and I'm trying to be better at, he would listen to them at their level, let them feel safe that, hey, I can actually express what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Very, very.
And by doing that, he gave people the opportunity to be felt felt safe. And that's where healing comes in.
It does.
Because if you're always on the defensive, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. Not at all.
Because you're always putting up that shield. You're always putting that
Yep.
buckler.
Yep.
And part of and I when I tell my clients, I got a couple of clients who are emotionally stressed out on different things. They're going through loss, they're going through things.
Okay.
I said, part of my job right now is I'm your shield.
Yes.
I'm protecting you while you're in this vulnerable time.
Hmm.
That's my job.
Right.
Yes, I'm just working on your fitness. Yes, I'm working on some of these other things. But while you're here with me, you don't have to worry about the dealing with your life, or you're dealing with your money, you're dealing with all these other stuff. What you have to deal with is just simply breathing, just simply exercising, just
Yes.
help your fitness become fuel for your life. And which is one of the things I do on these weekends. So God has blessed me. I've done a couple of these, what I call rising up seminars. It's a
Okay.
weekend seminar, and I have veterans, I have first responders, I have anybody can come into it. But what I tell them is it's the next step beyond recovery. I'm
Okay.
not trying to help you get through your recovery. What I'm trying to help you do is re-aim, refocus, and reset your life.
Very good.
And I talk to guys who are first responders, who are veterans. They say, okay, how are you using the skills that you learned in the military, in the police force, in the fire department?
Mhm. Mhm.
How are you using those skills in your civilian job? And they're like, well, in my civilian job, I don't have to fire a gun. I said, no, 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 no. Where'd you get your discernment? You can discern as a military guy. Yes, I can shoot here. No, I can't shoot here.
Mhm.
Where'd you
Mhm.
get that patience? Where did you get that thought process
Right.
to,
Right.
okay, how can I go here? How can there? Where did you get the learning that, okay, going through this, trying to do something this way is not going to work. Let's improvise and adapt and go around and try and develop this problem instead of trying to hit it face on. Because us hitting it face on is not necessarily going to work. How did you learn that? How can you use that in your civilian job? How can you use the patience that you learn
Yep.
when you're being yelled at by a senior official to, okay, take that, okay, and instead of just getting all mad, going, okay, what in there can I use?
Right.
Or having the patience to take it
Mhm. Right.
and then not react and not overreact. And you have to learn that sort of stuff.
You do.
And how can you use that in your civilian job?
Yeah.
Then the other thing is I talk about is, okay, anger management.
Yep.
Okay. So what can you do? What the first question I always ask someone is, why is that making you angry? Why is that making you angry?
Yeah.
And 7 times out of 10, it's because this is happening and I can't stop it.
Oh, makes sense.
And so they're getting frustrated with the fact that they know what's going to happen to them, or they see this is coming down the road and they can't stop it.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, then it's like, okay, so how is this? My next question I was asking, okay, so you're frustrated about this, that you can't stop this from happening. How is this frustration affecting your relationship with your spouse?
Mhm. Mhm.
How is this respecting your relationship with your family? How
Right.
is this affecting your relationship with those around? Have you shared this with anybody that you trust?
Okay.
And like I said, sometimes out of 10, they haven't shared it with anybody.
I can
I
believe
said,
that.
who do you trust? Well, I trust you. Great. I'm not always going to be here.
Right. Right.
I mean, I see you. This is my second time I've seen you. I can't help carry your burden yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
We haven't developed that sort of relationship.
Right.
Who
Yep.
do you have in your life that you have carried part of their burden and they can carry part of yours? And they're like, "Oh, I've never it's things like that that they haven't thought about." And then the next thing is, okay, what do you want to do with your life? You
Yeah.
just got out of the military. You just got out of the police force. What do you want to do?
Mhm.
Well, everyone tells me, I said, forget what everybody else in the world is telling
And you.
you.
Yep.
What is in your heart,
Yep.
and with your relationship with God, with your relationship with your family, with your relationship? Every single guy has worked, excuse the expression, a shit job to bring money on the table.
Yep.
Because we know that our first responsibility is to pay the bills, take care, put a roof over their heads, make sure the kids can get to school, make sure they have vehicles, make sure they have food to eat, make sure they have clothes.
Yep.
We've all done shit jobs which we don't necessarily like.
True.
However, if there was something that you would want to do that would still bring in that income, what would it be?
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, I've not really thought about that."
I bet.
Okay, let's start thinking about it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you're great with your hands. Do you like masonry? Do you like carpentry?
Mhm.
Yeah, I like doing it. Great. Carpenters make $40 an hour.
Yep.
Would you like to help build homes? I mean, forget,
Yeah.
what do you want to do with your life? Do you want to live here in the city, or do you want to live a little bit out in the country? Do you want to be able to have chickens and maybe some goats or something
Yep.
along that line, and
Yep.
you're able to take your kid out and teach them how to work in the morning and how to feed the chickens and have responsibilities. Is that something that you want to do, or be a little bit more out in nature
Hmm.
instead of having and being able to see the stars and not looking up and all you see is smog? What is it that you want to do?
Hmm.
And these guys haven't thought about this stuff. Okay, then the next thing is, okay, how are we going to get there? How
Right.
do we back? How do
Yep.
we backwards plan?
Yep.
So when I went to senior NCO school, when I went to NCO school, when I went to rehabilitation school, they all taught the same thing. How do you take? This is where you want to be. How do we do the step by step procedures to get there?
Yeah.
So do you need to get some more education and not necessarily not get a degree? There are so many. I mean,
Yeah.
everything from Jordan Peterson's little college that he has online to all the different Apple. I mean, go on YouTube.
Oh yeah. There's
Go on YouTube. You can get there's more information on YouTube that is in the Library of Congress.
I definitely can believe that. Mhm.
And so let's start watching some videos about people who are doing what you want to do. Hear what they have to say about it. See if that's something that you can do. As much as I would like to be a plumber, my body's not going to allow me to climb around underneath pipes.
Right. True.
It's not going to happen. Okay, so you got to contort. Do all my back is never going to let me do that ever again. And so, okay, what is it that you want to do that you obviously can do? You know, and so that is part of the idea that I do with these weekend clinics is I'm
Okay.
trying to give people a vision for the future. So what we do is we meet together on a Friday. It's usually at like a hotel, and we'll have a couple of sessions, and then we'll all go out and do something fun.
Okay.
So like we'll go to and I'm sorry, for me, fun doesn't necessarily mean going to uh, uh, the Texas Rangers.
Okay. Gotcha.
I would much rather go see the Frisco Rough Riders, which
Okay.
is the double A team. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yep.
Because you go to the double A team, you can actually get seats. You can actually walk around. They
True.
have a lot. It's a baseball game, better baseball than I ever played when
Okay.
I was growing up. These guys are obviously skilled, and for a century, these are the way that people have gotten better. So we're watching guys in the developmental league,
Exactly. Yeah. So.
and you know what? You're watching people try to better themselves. So they're on the same journey that you are on.
Yep.
These guys are on.
They
They're
are.
trying to better themselves for the pros.
Yep.
And you get a chance to watch them. And when you start viewing things through those eyes, it changes the way you watch minor league baseball.
Oh yes.
And you go, okay, so this is what they're actually doing. Then you watch them instead of yelling, oh, he screwed this up. You're going, okay, he's young, he's
Mm,
19.
right.
And then the next couple of things that we would do, is then we'd have next day. The first thing we do is in the morning, about 6:30 in the morning, we would wake up and we have a body weight workout.
Okay.
So we're doing push-ups, we're doing sit-ups, we're jogging, we're doing sprints, we're doing figure eights, we're doing basic body weight, a good 40-minute workout.
Okay.
And we end it with a run. And I tell people, hey, if your back can't do it, then you're gonna walk. If you're
Just.
because I'm still in the walking mode.
Yeah.
Because after I did the Army 10 mile last year, and it screwed up my back really bad where I had that torn uh, uh,
Yeah.
abductor, and it flared up really bad. So I still am on the walking stage. I'll tell them, listen, I'm at walking stage.
Yep. Yep.
With If you want to run, you want to run. If
Yeah.
if you're God bless you, you do these marathons. Not this Pontius Demetrius, you're really good.
Yeah.
But the idea is that we get people doing things and being physical together. And if you're first, you're once you cross that finish line, I don't want you going in, getting a drink of water, and going off into the. In other words, your job is to turn around
Mm-hmm.
encourage the next guy to come in,
Yes. Amen.
and then the next guy to come in, and so by the time the last people are coming in, everybody's there encouraging them to get through.
I love it. I definitely.
And so that we would do that, and then at the end, what I do is I give them a whole stack of stuff. I give them a book. I give them
Okay.
a completion form. I give them a notebook that they do things throughout the day. I usually try to give them a T-shirt that says, rising up, and has my logo and then the phoenix,
Cool.
and that way that can get a little bit of publicity out there. And then whoever's sponsoring us, like the last one, Team Semper Fi sponsored, so I had their logo on it too.
Sure. Yes.
And so the
Yeah.
idea is that we keep it so that people will want to keep that type of thing. And it's kind of silly, but the more that you give, I mean, the books usually cost about $3 because you get
Mhm.
it wholesale, but they remember, they go through the book.
Yeah, that I'm sure of. Yes.
And the T-shirt, I get text messages from people wearing the T-shirt out in public all the time.
Which is so awesome. No, so awesome.
And then, but what I'm saying is, but by doing these sort of things with vets and with everybody, I think I can't repeat this enough. I think it's just more important that we build that community
Mhm.
and we build that Jerusalem, we build that Judea where we are helping people out. And that's what, like I said, my father raised me to help people out.
And that's so great, and that is the best way to live. So,
And I apologize. You wound me up, and then the top started spinning, and it's off to the races. Is there anything you want to add into this? And I
I
apologize if I've
yeah,
dominated the conversation.
I no, that's very cool. I love the passion. I really love the passion. But you were saying with growing up, I always have to ask on the Dreamcatcher podcast, when you were growing up, what were your dreams?
I wanted to be like my father.
Okay,
I wanted to coach and I wanted to teach.
cool.
Uh, my dad eventually became a principal, and he worked with a bunch of different Southern Baptist high schools. And he became so good at his job that they would hire him to advise
Oh,
different
wow.
schools that were
Wow.
having problems. So my high school career was, we were in Texas my freshman year, we were in Alabama my sophomore year, we were in Chicago my junior and
All
senior
over.
year. So we were all over, we were moving. And while there's good and bad to both of that, it it uh it allowed me the opportunity to feel comfortable
Mhm.
in my who I was, because there's a lot of times that I would go to a school and I was brand new.
Yeah, that'd be tough. Mhm.
And but I was an athlete. I was a football player. I was a wrestler. I played basketball.
You could
I walk in on the football field, and like my freshman year I was at a school in Garland,
oh, I know.
and they had never had a freshman, in Garland. You got to remember, in Texas, you have the varsity team, you have the JV team, you have freshman A and freshman B team.
Okay.
So you're a freshman no matter what, unless you come in and you're a name.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
You're 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 put on the you're brand new. You're put on the freshman B team. So I started off the year on the freshman B team. By the time the first game came along, I was a starter on the varsity.
Oh, okay.
Well, my father had been drafted by what was known was the Dallas Texans
Okay.
in the old AFL. He was
Okay.
a tight end. He had 4.4 speed as a tight end. He was good. He was athletic.
Wow.
Uh, Tore up his knee in college football, ended up slowing him down, ended up messing his life. Not
Hmm.
messing his life, but it slowed him down.
Okay.
He ended up he volunteered to go to Vietnam, and they told him because of his knee that he wasn't allowed to. So he was the only one in our family that hadn't gone and served in the military, and that was he volunteered and was told no.
Okay. Wow.
And so I think I mentioned this before. We have a family legacy.
Yeah.
Uh, so we've had people from everything from the Civil, when our families came to here from the Civil War, we've had people who fought from the Civil War, Spanish American War, World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Korea. I was in Desert Storm. I was in Iraq, and I have a niece that's right now who's in Kuwait.
Wow.
Okay. I have one of my brothers. He joined the army. He was an MP until he was tackling someone in Korea and blew out his knee, and then they medically discharged him. Uh, so I mean, we someone in our family has
Yeah.
served and fought
What a
every
legend.
single generation.
Really.
And when I give, I'm giving, uh, America 250th anniversary is coming up, and I'm speaking
Yes.
at about four different spots around the country. I'm going to South Carolina
Okay.
on Saturday to speak at an event there.
Okay.
And one of the things that what I'm talking about is I'm talking about America's worth it,
Amen.
and the concepts behind there is I'm going to talk about two of my uh, my great uncle who
Hmm.
passed away in World War II,
Okay.
and then I'm going to talk about another uncle, great uncle who passed away in World War One. And but the one that fought in World War II was in the Navy. The guy who fought in World War One was in the Marine Corps, and so that's one of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps because I coming out of high school, we didn't have any money. I had a
Hmm.
great family.
Hmm.
I had a great family, had
Yes.
a great father, had great everything. I couldn't ask for any more other than money. But you know what? My dad was not willing to sacrifice the family time to make a lot of money.
I
He
think.
had opportunities that he could have gone, but he chose family.
Yep. Excellent.
And so that meant that there would be nights when he had to go referee games to make sure we had enough to make sure it meets, especially during the Carter years, especially during some of those early Reagan years. Uh, when everything before everything took off.
Hmm.
And so that was one thing I remember is he's always willing to do what's ever necessary to get the job done.
That says.
And that's been something I've tried to do.
Yep.
Um and so
And I'm sure
when
you
I
do. I'm sure you do. I have no doubt you do. You had a great. It sounds like you had an awesome example, and I'm sure you do. Mm.
yeah, and he passed away literally 6 weeks ago.
Oh,
And so
right.
it's fresh on my mind. And
Yeah.
so uh I strive to okay, I'm the oldest son. My brother took over the orphanage and I'm so proud of him. Uh God set me on a different path than he set my brother. My brother
Mhm.
became my dad's right hand man.
Okay.
He for the past 20 years he's helped out in everything that my dad needed. He ran the school for a while. He slowly but surely has been taken over, and my dad was one of his before he had the surgery. He had already been phasing out for the past 8 months of
Mm.
the leadership role, and had been phasing my brother in
Okay.
uh, because he wanted to make sure that he was there for my mom because my mom was having some health issues. Dad was beginning to have health issues, and when you're 85, that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
And so Spence had the energy, Spence has the knowledge, Spence is just phenomenal at everything he does. And he was the guy who was an MP in the army, so we know he has discernment. We know that he could problem solve the situation.
Okay.
And so uh, I I'm looking forward to see where he takes it because Dad took it from nothing
Wow.
and making a lot of mistakes and learning and
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean.
when we first got the land, it had been a trash dump
Hmm.
where the land at the orphanage is at.
Okay.
And it was in Mexico. And I remember I had just gotten home from Somalia. And my wife and I went down there uh, for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And dad was like, "Hey, we're working on the orphanage. You want to come down there and do something, or do you need a rest? Are you?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm coming down." So
Mm-hmm.
we went into Mexico and literally spent 2 days digging part of the foundation
Wow.
out of the ground before
Okay.
they laid the cement. And that was one of my fun memories is doing that with him. So whenever I go to the orphanage, I'm like, yeah, I helped on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't help on
I did
anything else.
that.
I helped on that one.
Uh, I love that.
Yeah, and so I mean, when you have an experience like that, I mean, like right now, I think we talked about this before. My job is I help people who have been broken, and I don't mean broken in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Just things, life happens.
Oh, it does. Oh, yes.
Life happens. So you have first responders who dealing with bullets.
Yep.
You have Marines and soldiers and sailors who are dealing with trauma. They're dealing with injured backs, injured knees,
Yep.
limbs that have been whatever. And okay, how do we take that and make that good?
Ex-
Uh,
yes.
I had a one of my favorite clients is the 97-year-old Korean War veteran,
Wow.
and he has tried to pay me 100 times, and I have never taken a cent from him. And the one of the things that I do with him is so he just got done ha- dance. He wanted to dance at his great granddaughter, not granddaughter,
That's awesome.
great granddaughter's quinceañera. He wanted
Uh-huh.
to do a dance with her. So we spent 4 months working on his lateral movement,
So
working
cool.
on having it so that he could remain balanced, so
Mm-hmm.
he could do all this sort of different things.
Right.
And ha- I've gotten so many clients from just people watching me work with him.
And I bet. Yes, I could definitely see that. Uh,
And so he is extremely hardworking. He
uh,
hates it when I pull out the ropes
oh,
because that forces his whole body to be active and forces his
yeah.
core, forces his athleticism. And he goes, "These things are heavy." I'm like, "Yep, yes, sir, yes, they are." And
Uh,
so that's
that
always
that
part of the deal. That's part of the fun.
it is. So, Bill, before we end the
Yes,
podcast,
sir.
how do people work with you? How did the 97-year-old find you?
So right now I work out of Lifetime,
Okay.
Lifetime Fitness, which is is one of high end uh, fitness gyms. They call it a resort
Okay.
because they have pools, they have a spa, they have all kinds of different things. And so I've been working through them. The other way is I do one-on-ones or digital where people email me. They find me on Facebook. They find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Trainer Big Sarge. Uh, and then Bill Hansen for my Facebook. I
Okay.
have a LinkedIn. I think I sent it to you, which you can find me on there.
Yep.
And the idea is that we will do we will do like one-on-ones where I I talk to you, we videotape part of the workout. I see how you're doing. And so I have about 4 or 5 clients that are all over the country. And what they do is they send me the videos. We talk about different things, and then I have a business account where they'll pay me off of.
Okay.
And the idea is that's the best way. Then I've been doing public speaking,
Okay. Cool.
where, like I said, I'm speaking at a couple of 250 anniversaries. The
Yeah.
one that I'm doing on Saturday, I'm doing it for as a favor for Wounded Warrior Project. So
Excellent.
because I'm extremely loyal. They were very loyal to me when
Yeah.
I needed them.
Very much.
And
Yeah.
so if they when I did the Wounded to Battle Back series, those videos I sent you,
Hmm.
uh that ended up raising over $8 to $10 million for their organization.
Wow.
And especially when they were on Netflix, my video, I'm not trying to be braggadocious, I'm just stating facts.
Sure.
My video was the #1 video that people watched. And
Excellent.
there was a bunch of other videos. There's one guy who fought in the UFC. His video is very highly viewed as well before he got hurt. So I mean, there's always, you know, different, like what you talked about.
Mm.
People are going to resonate with this. People are going to, or they're going to resonate with that. You know,
Right.
there's a girl who one of the girls is talking about her journey after she came home with PTSD and how she's riding horses and how, you know,
Yeah.
that's going to resonate with some people. And another guy who working with animals and working with snakes was what helped calm him down. It
Yeah.
would freak me the fuck out, excuse my French, to work with the snakes, but hey, all power to him.
Yes, I hear you. So
And so that's the best way to get a hold of me. And then once you get a
okay,
hold of me, and we've built a conversation, then I'll give you my number or give you my email, and we can go from that way.
okay, that sounds very good. So do you have more events? You're going to South Carolina. Do you have more things coming up this year to celebrate the 250th?
Uh, I'm going to be talking in Fort Worth. I'm going to be talking in Florida, and I'm going to be talking. I'm trying to remember where the other one is. They just sent it to me like two
Okay.
days ago. I believe it's in New York.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have spoken in San Francisco. I've spoken in Sacramento. I've spoken in Chicago. I, I,
Really
I,
cool.
I'm trying to build this portion up of
Hmm.
my resume, but my problem, you might say problem, I would much if I feel like I'm gonna meet more people
Hmm.
and you have me at the local VFW and we're gonna have 40 guys, then I'm actually gonna reach
Right.
out and hit
Oh yeah.
30 of the 40. I'll take $200 in a meal over going to some fancy place,
Yep.
talking
I
to a
hear you.
bunch of highfalutin people, getting paid $2,000 and have a fancy steak.
Yep. I'm with
Uh,
you.
don't get me wrong. If someone offers me one of those in the next couple of weeks, I have cars. When you have six daughters,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have four cars.
Yeah.
That's just life.
Yeah. That I'm sure of. Yes. Yeah.
And so I wouldn't mind paying off a couple of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You're eating that too.
or because you know once you have cars you have they break down a lot,
Oh, of
and so
course. Yes, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, Bill. I mean, what would you like this to look like in 5 years?
so hopefully I'm actually stepping away from, because in 5 years I'll be 65.
Okay.
So this next year the only other thing is once I'm doing some physical rehab, I'm doing some stuff with my knees, I'm doing stuff with my lower back, and I'm trying to rehabilitate myself.
Okay.
uh I want to make one last run at nationals.
Okay.
I took third in strongman 2 years in a row. I competed at the Arnold's.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Uh, so I was 57, 58 when I'm doing that.
Okay.
The I made it to the podium twice. The average age of the guys who made podium were 50 and 51.
Yes.
I would like to podium at 60. But to do that, that I know what that means.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't,
You-
I'm not downplay it, but I can't work 40 hours a week,
Yeah.
deal with my son,
Yeah.
spin all the plates that I've got
Yeah.
spinning
Yeah.
right
Right.
now.
Yes. Yes.
I can't do all that and train 20 hours a week.
True. No.
I'm literally gonna have to train 20 to 22 hours a week to do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm able to, and understand the way I sit on this, if I'm able to hit on someone who's like, dude, I like you, I'm gonna sponsor you, that would boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Let's go.
uh because I still, no matter what, I still have to put bread on the table. I
Yep.
still have to put the roof over the house.
Yep. Yep.
The stuff that I get from the VA, it is okay. It helps out, but it doesn't pay for everything. You
Sure.
know, uh, and so that's that's there.
Yeah.
I would like to do that one. I'd like to have one final run because honestly, the last two times I've done it for the last 3 years, where I did the Arnold's and I did the other two.
Hmm.
When you're working that much, I was working 40 hours a week. But my as my son gets older, he needs more time.
Yeah. True.
I was waking up every single morning at 4:30 every morning. 4:30, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yep.
I am literally taking off my shirt, putting on a different shirt, quick shower, quick hop in the hot tub. My first client's at 6:30.
Okay.
So every single morning for 5 days a week. I don't mind doing that, but I can only as I get older, I realize I need more recovery time.
I hear you. Oh, I do. I hear you. Yes.
So it would be something where I need to uh, uh, be able to plan that a little
Yeah.
bit better.
You know,
And I'm pretty good about compartmentalizing my day.
okay.
I am in the process of writing a book about my father
Okay. Cool.
because I think truly believe that a man who took care of over 7,000 orphans
Yeah. Yeah.
in a biblical, in a right, in a godly manner, and he was their grandpa, and that's
Yeah.
all these orphans ever called him was grandpa.
Oh, I love.
And I think it's important that, and my dad was a little bit against it, and my mom had some. They're like, "Hey, we're just simply doing the job God called us to do." And I
Yeah.
said, "Yes, but as I look on your wall, you have books of people who inspired Dad. Dad's book
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
inspire. Dad's book can inspire other people." And
Yes.
I'm not going to. And here's the deal: I'm not going to tell all the good, the bad. What I'm going
Sure.
to do is I'm going to take
Right. Right.
10, 10 chapters, tell screenshots of Dad's philosophy, how he's going to do it, and the
Yep.
stories behind what happened when he did that.
Yes. Yes.
And that could inspire people because we all at times need inspiration.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then I would like to, uh, I'd like to cut back on being on my feet training people.
And I could see that too. I could definitely.
If I could do more of the video, the virtual, and still bring in the same amount of money, if I can make this process that I'm doing, because the last few times I did it, I didn't make a cent.
Okay.
The weekend seminars, if I can get it so that I'm actually making money off of it, uh, and have sponsors and things along that line, and have vets from all over come in, hey, this is actually gonna be a thing,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. Uh, and that's one reason why I do some of the podcasts is 'cause I want to talk about some of the things we're doing. And
Yeah.
not just that, but just getting I think it's important that we all share, we have conversations.
I 100% agree. Yes. Yeah, we do.
And the more conversations that we have, the better off we're gonna be as a society.
Amen. Definitely.
I think that's one of the things that, that has gone astray is people aren't willing to have conversations anymore.
Yes. I 100% agree on that. Yeah. I mean, nobody, well, some people, I don't think they have real conversations very much at all anymore. And I think that's what makes life great. So,
Well, that's the reason why I don't do Twitter.
mhm.
Because that's I did Twitter for a little bit, and all it was people arguing. It raised my blood pressure to see
No, I hear
some of
you.
the moronic
Yep.
ideas, and I got banned off of Facebook during COVID, and because I was of the opinion that we didn't need shots and we didn't need this, but that's just
Yep.
me.
Yep.
I didn't need it,
Mhm.
and people couldn't handle the fact that I didn't need it because they're saying, well, if I said I don't need this, if you wanna do it, go for it.
Go.
I'm not stopping you, but I'm saying I don't wanna do it.
Yep. That was me too. Yep.
And so but, I mean, I got banned off of Facebook for a while, and but, I mean, that's when I rebooted the whole thing after that. So, I think it's one of the fun things in life is having a conversation because you know what? Like I
Yes.
said before, if I one of my best friends, he and I disagree on a lot of political stuff,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I see what he does with his family, how
Yeah.
all of his kids are respectful, how all of his kids take care of each other, how he provides for his family. I see how he is in the community, how he's always helping people in on the soccer team that the kids are on, how he's always being involved in
Yeah.
local projects.
Right.
He is involved with that. So I can have a conversation and he's in our church, and I said, listen, we're going to agree to disagree on some of these other things, but that doesn't mean that we're bad.
Exactly. Yeah, and so many people don't get that. You know, if you don't 100% agree with them, then you gotta you can't be, acquaintances or know each other or anything. And what a
Well,
loss. So,
Mark, I mean, we've just barely started our conversations together.
mhm.
I'm sure that there are things that you don't agree with that I have said. I'm sure I haven't heard anything yet really from you that I disagree with, but I mean, I'm sure that but I have experiences like I was talking about before that I'm going to swerve away from
Yep.
because it brings back it puts me in bad situations that I don't want to go.
I hear you.
And but you could go through that and it's not gonna affect you as much.
No.
And you are gonna have things which you're gonna be like, hey, ooh, this really hurt me, but
Yeah.
I can kind of blow right through it
Yep.
because it's not gonna affect me. But
I'm
I mean, but that's the differences, and we could have those differences, and it doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't. No, I mean, where did we ever get to think we have to agree on everything? It's just like, no, nobody's gonna. I mean, we're all individuals, and
Mhm.
no, I'm so glad that God crossed our path. So,
I agree also. I think this is phenomenal.
yeah, definitely, and I think on that, Bill, I'm gonna end the podcast there.
Perfect.
Maybe down the line, if you would be up for it, I would love to have you back as my guest.
I was gonna say, if you ever want me come on down again, I would love
Yeah,
it. And hopefully you'll see me in training mode. Hopefully you will see, and you follow me on Instagram. You can see the
room.
stuff that I put out there.
Yep.
Train a big Sarge. And like I say, it's something. I might post something on there on the storyline that you don't agree with. Okay, then you don't agree with it.
You can,
Yeah, but you know what? That doesn't mean that. And I look at you, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of silly, but all right,
yeah, yeah, I agree. So, and we're gonna put all that in the show notes too, everywhere people can find you. So,
perfect.
well, thank you for joining us on the Dream Catcher podcast, and I look forward to just keeping in touch and seeing your
Yes, sir. Well, we've got each other's numbers, and let's just do that because no
okay,
matter what, hey, Mark, no matter what, we made friends, right?
yes, which is always great.
And that's always a great thing because you can't
Yep.
have too many friends.
No, no, that's awesome. So, um, have a good rest of your day, Bill,
You as well.
and we'll talk to you soon.
Hopefully, hey, you have a wonderful day, my friend.
Thanks.
All right.